It's been said a bard's life can often be a hard life, or hill and jail to rove and always move from town to town. And some folk have inquired if ever we grow tired of ranging all around the world and never settling down.
But one should be a little wary of remaining stationary. Cause comfortable is lovely, but it's not the way we grow. When life starts to unravel, pick up your pack and travel. You'll find a strange serenity in places you don't know. Wriggle-dee-dum-dee-doo-rat-terry-o-dee. There's so much to see beyond the open door. It's outward bound we go. Who knows what we'll find that we've never found before. Adventures waiting further down the road. It's waiting for you further down the road. You've got no map for showing which direction you are going.
But why start on a journey if you know where it will end?
And once you recognize,
to anticipate surprise, you'll relish every twist and turn that lies around the bend. Wriggle-dee-dum-dee-doo-rat-terry-o-dee-da-dee-da-dee. There's so much to see beyond the open door. It's outward bound we go. Who knows what we'll find that we've never found before. Adventures waiting further down the road. It's waiting for you further down the road. Lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie. Lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie. Lie-da-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie. La-da-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie. La-da-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie. The world has got its demons. There are many reasons why you'd find it harder to be brave than be afraid. But every life could use some danger. Every friend was once a stranger. Ships are safe in harbor, but that's not why ships are made.
Wriggle-dee-dum-dee-doo-rat-terry-o-dee, da-dee, a fwit-dee-dee-dee-dee. There's so much to see beyond the open door. It's outward bound we go. Who knows what we'll find that we've never found before. Adventures waiting further down the road. It's waiting for you further down the road. Lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie. Lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie. Lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Adventures waiting further down the road. Let's go! Lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie. Lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie. Lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie. La-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. La-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Hello, everybody. My name is Michael OJ. I am a magician and a game designer, and I have designed this game called Mythos. So what you guys are about to see tonight is a brand new tabletop role-playing game using the Powered by the Apocalypse system, a very narrative-heavy system, very simple to understand, but has a lot of deep complexity behind it. In these games, the players are playing as gods living today in the modern world, and they have had their powers drained as time has gone on. And they are going to be building up gods today. Today is going to be our character creation session to show all of you the upcoming game. Game is going to be released next year on Kickstarter. You can go to the Storyteller's Forge, join our mailing list there, and that's when the game is going to be. So if you guys like what you see, please do check that out. But without further ado, I do want to introduce our players here. I'll let people that can come on one at a time by our backstage studio and have them introduce themselves, and then I'll give you guys more information.
Hi, my name's Adam Hurley. I've been a bit of a co-author, sidekick of Mike's, helping him with this game. I'm actually a counselor where I run RPGs and LARPing for kids. So in a weird way, I could kind of be argued a professional nerd. And the flying terrorist is Diesel.
Hi, I'm Mab Just Mab, DC's own sideshow girl, retired, doing strange and weird stuff for your entertainment. Pew, pew, pew. But these days, I'm a maker. I make things, as well as spending a ridiculous amount of time on the Nat 21 Adventures channel. I am very excited to be here, and I'm really looking forward to this game. I have heard nothing but awesome things, and then reading the books, I'm so excited. Okay, be cool. Oh, and I just have to say, you're a professional nerd. One might say I was a professional geek. Sideshow geek. Get it?
My bad. Geeks went out to nerds.
Hey guys, I am Mayhemmer. That's all you get. No, I'm kidding. So I'm actually a quasi-retired showgirl. I actually just produce and do stage managing now. I actually run the show, the burlesque show and the pinup show at Dragon Con, which is this week. And I do a lot of, fun stuff like role playing, aka working at a Ren Fair, working at a fairy festival. You're so friendly, everyday character actor. So it's me.
Hey everyone, I'm Dan Kostelik. I'm your friendly neighborhood Shakespeare, a professional Englishman at a Renaissance fair near you, like Sparta, New Jersey, and Maryland, both coming up this fall. You can also catch me here Tuesday mornings, 10 a.m., for writing sonnets with Shakespeare on Nat 21 Adventures. And we still have another person to introduce.
Hi, I'm Melinda Snodgrass. I'm a novelist and screenwriter. Some of you may know me from Star Trek: The Next Generation, and on a lot of other TV shows. I have been role-playing longer than I want to admit, because I feel like I'm a lot older than all these people here. I love it, and I adore this game. And when Michael invited me to be part of this tonight, I was so excited. So I'm here and can't wait to play more modern Mythos, Modern Gods.
All right, perfect. So, so I kind of want to walk people through kind of the basic understanding of the game itself, and then we're going to get into the fun part, which is going to be building characters. So, this is a game that you play as a modern day version of a god. So you're playing either an old god of antiquity who's kind of come back into the modern world, which is kind of the recommended path to do. And what you're doing in the modern world is based upon how much belief you had. So clearly, some gods are living very well and powerful, but others, not so much. Maybe maybe Thor is a carpenter now who can't find work. You might have Mercury as head of the mafia and running the Roman gods, the Italian mafia, to supremacy in New York City. But you also have modern day gods, like the gods of capitalism, the gods of power, the old gods of the railroad. This is a modern myth setting, and when invoking these old terms, you're thinking about these what they are doing in modern day and how they've changed and how they have adapted, how much they've lived through, and if they're even the same being before. A god who was once a great hero might be nothing now, or a god who was once a villain might have turned another cheek. There's so much to explore here, and there's also neat concepts to get into, kind of like the world building and things like that. But these guys have seen the initial rulebook, and the rulebook, we will be releasing little snippets of it as time goes on. It's still in dev editing right now, so nothing here is final, but I'm happy to share the first sneak peek with all of you guys, so this is the perfect place to do it. So with that, the first step of this game is understanding the system. It uses the Powered by the Apocalypse system, written by the fantastic Megan Vincent Baker. You might know them from games like Apocalypse World, but other games in the system are like Monster of the Week. It's a very simple system. It uses 2d6. You roll the dice and you add a number. If you got above a 10, you succeed. 7 through 9, you succeed. There's some kind of complication, and a 6 and below, you have missed the action. And the characters are going to have different stats to go along with that. But the first thing I want to do is kind of open this up to a discussion. I do want to talk to talk to Adam for a second. Adam has, for some reason, made over 100 characters for this game. Not sure why he did, but he has built a lot of
100, but a lot.
Like a lot. Yep. He's built a lot of characters over the years, so kind of a good understanding of it is to kind of get into kind of the mindset of building into one of the characters, so the other guys here can see a person who's played before. And Adam, if you want to quickly tell us about inspiration for some of the characters you have played and how they've adapted in the modern time, just so people can get a sneak peek of what these gods might look like.
So, how about I start with the character I'm currently playing in one of Mike's campaigns? So the character I played for that, what I started to do with this is I wanted to play a god who has been around and was there for a lot of famous or big mythological moments, but was never the center of attention. My goal was to play someone who effectively had a giant inferiority complex. So I picked a pantheon that was well known, the Olympians. And then I went to, rather than one of the main Olympians, I linked on one of their kids. I decided it'd be really fun to play a war god who isn't strong or powerful anymore. So I settled on Deimos, the son of Ares and Aphrodite, the combo of dread and panic, his brother Phobos. And in Mike's game, in that setting, or Damien, as he goes by nowadays, is a giant horror nerd. He's lost the aspect of war. He's no longer a powerful, scary war god. Now he's only a darkness and fear god. Because a big thing in this game is you lose followers, you lose belief. Once upon a time, like, Damien would have been way more powerful than he is now. So you have to kind of pick, your character really should pick and choose what parts of themselves they hold on to. And what parts did you have to leave behind? And that can be in a lot of different things. And in game terms, it usually kind of represents that, like, maybe Thor doesn't have the hammer anymore. Maybe he isn't worthy. Or maybe Hades no longer runs the underworld. He moved on. That can look in a lot of different directions. But the way to think about it for making a character is start with a person. Who do you want, and what are they like today? So Damien in Mike's game isn't the jacked, Spartan-looking warrior with the big horse head helmet and anything. I think I described him as a 110-pound soaking wet teenager with greasy hair, with a t-shirt of the famous painting Scream, but with Ghostface on it, where he spends all day complaining that horror movies are becoming too much about jump scare, and they're missing the real buildup of intellectual horror, the dread, because that's what he represents.
Yeah, perfect. And so, yeah, with that, I kind of want to touch on one thing, and that is the question of what is a god? Because the word god's going to be thrown around a whole bunch, and a god is anything that has belief in it. Obviously, you have the old gods of antiquity, Zeus, Thor, Odin. You have these guys. You also have folk tales. Robin Hood is probably a god. Cryptids. Mothman is a god who exists.
Oh, yeah.
Sure is.
You also have characters like modern day deities or characters that have adapted their purview. Maybe John Henry is also the god of the Union now. He's the working man who wants to make sure that the machine isn't taking over. There's also new gods of technology, the Trinity, the cyber Trinity internet, 0, 1, and binary, blessed be, who are trying to form a new pantheon. There's the god of video games, 420 no scope blaze it, who is absolutely a god who is a trash talker online. We also have weird gods of atheism. There's a group called the Agency who hunts down gods. They have all the powers that people think the world government has. So if people believe the government has that power, show them black helicopters at night, men in black suits, mind wiping people, they have those powers. So this is kind of the world. You also have the Lovecraftian pantheon. Cthulhu is a god. Do the gods know what he is? Probably not, but they're creepy and weird and shouldn't really be talked about. I agree. American gods, but people with respect.
Hope so.
And respect is a key word I want to talk about before we get into the group discussion here. Is these are playing gods that have a lot of faith behind them. I have faith in. I'm a religious person myself, and I have faith in deities I put into the game before. Big thing stressed with this game is when you play a god, think about them in a respectful manner. Play a version of them. But always remember, these are figures of worship who've had so much mythology around them. show them respect. Doesn't mean you can't be funny, doesn't mean you can't have a good time with it, but yeah, think about them. Caricature is the thing that it's like, yeah, don't do that, but generally that's pretty blatant for everyone here. So what I wanted to talk about, if we want to open up to everybody here, is the first thing you do when you're making a character of this game, the simplest thing is we're going to decide what god we play. So there's going to be a couple steps here. First up, we're going to choose our god, which is going to be the hardest part of any game, because you go, I could be this god, I could also be this god, but I could also be this god. Ooh, but what if I was this god? A true story. I was in London on a trip, and someone mentioned Old Father Thames. I'm sitting there like, that's a cool plague god who probably is this angry river god who hangs out by the street and throws sewage in the River Thames because he's just a jerk. You can play whatever you want, and when you figure out the god first and then figure what they are, so there's two ways to kind of make this. One, decide what god you want to play and then figure out the modern day, or figure out the concept you want to play and then we kind of refine our gods together. And both of those solid. Some gods that have been highlights is we've had Rick from Blockbuster, the god of 90s entertainment, whose temple was the Great Blockbuster. And then they all started shutting down and left one temple left, way off in Oregon. It's either Oregon or Washington State. I think it's Oregon. It's just over there.
Oregon.
Yeah. Used to be this powerful god who's like oppressing other gods for being the new modern thing. And then he's like, oh yeah, I don't have any powers whatsoever.
That's an important thing to think about with the setting is your characters are effectively immortal. They've been around through the Great Depression, the Dark Ages, a lot. So, and you've lived through that to some extent.
You may,
but at the same time, you're also a god. So some of them don't ever really grow up.
And when we build our world together, because this is a collaborative story game, it's very possible that Loki and Odin started World War I. Right? It's very possible. Gods have always been involved in life. And one thing about this game is everything is true. There is a real possibility that Coyote and Prometheus are sitting there at a bar drinking with each other going, no, I made humans. The other one going, no, I was there. I made humans. They're both right. Or not, none of them are right. Because in this game, belief births gods. But the only way for people to exist is for gods to be real. So it's a chicken egg situation. What's real? Everything. Is there a truth behind it? I don't know, probably. And that's kind of the fun thing. You can kind of have arguments and be like, I remember when I was standing at creation and the stars were being born. It's like, no, I was there and we birthed them from the dirt. And those arguments are part of the game because you all remember things differently. Everything is true. And yeah, with this, we can open up to kind of what people are thinking about playing, concepts you guys have, and we can work on refining them and then getting into the part there, because I think it's important first come with a character, a narrative, and then we figure out what stats are going to help you out, because we can build whatever we want in the system. There's 30 reviews in this game that are classes, so there's a lot of choices here. But yeah, Dan, if you want to kind of talk about what you were thinking about, and then we can kind of feel free to discuss together.
Oh my, okay. I wasn't expecting to go yet.
Okay.
I was thinking of going with a god of ADHD / chaos surfing. So not a chaos god, or at least not a chaos god anymore. But chaos surfing. So as in like he being the ADHD thing, which is my own life, and being called a chaos surfer by my dear friend, many of our dear friend John Williams. It's one of those things of everything is going wrong all at once. I am now in my element. So it's like I can get us through this. I know exactly where we're going, and like it might involve 47 cups of coffee inside of a half-hour period, but that is my thought for him. And
great.
I already have ideas to help you with that.
Okay, like yeah. So like, and if I was like going with the idea that like if he was an old god, this is just his newest. This is the version he's moved into. Like, if he was a Loki, then this is just kind of what he's done, at least in America in the 21st century. Of this is who he's become, and so he's now like. If he back in the 80s, he was probably hopped up on way too much cocaine and talking to everybody.
He doesn't remember the 80s. He woke up one day and it was the 90s, and he was like, "What happened?"
Listen, it was 1968, and then it was 1992. I don't know what happened.
I have 8 warrants for my arrest, and I've served all of these terms somehow.
Like I was watching season 3 of the original series, and then all of a sudden I'm watching season 2 of Friends. What?
And what's great, and the plot twist is the TV wasn't even on. You were just like staring at a screen, being like, "Oh, the plot twist in this show is nuts." It's like the TV's not on. Oh no.
Yeah. So that is my loose idea for him, generically.
Like loose ideas are the perfect place to start. And I think loose ideas first, then we kind of like help each other, and then we kind of get everyone's loose idea here. And also, I have no idea, super valid, and that's a-okay to do. Would anyone like to also share kind of what they want to? Yeah, go ahead, Matt.
Okay. I know I want to somehow become the deity of off-label solutions.
Okay.
So what that is like it's a MacGyver, or it's a craftsperson deity, maybe and I was like, oh well, Hephaestus or something, or Lugh, which is a Celtic god. So it's like there's a lot of possibilities. But in my head, when I was, thank you, Victorian London Fog, you were absolutely right. In my head, it was, I didn't exist until someone was like putting 2 things together going, please work, please work, please work, please work. And there's a little prayer. And then I exist and granted their prayer. So cool. I don't know what deity I came from, or am I all of them?
Cool.
Maybe like Saint Jude, almost like patron saint of lost causes.
Oh, that is interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, that is really. You could also do like off-label solutions. You have a whole bunch of crafting gods. There's a Native American one named Gukslab, who is he's a northern like Maine region, who's like the crafter to fight the wicked. Lugh, you mentioned, was a fantastic option of. Or Goibnu, he's another smith of the gods. He was the smith of the Tuatha De Danann. You could also just be like a fairy who was like, I'm a fae who did this thing. Or a modern day, like, I was a god of industry.
Right, or a muse. And that was the other thing I was thinking, like the muses, but they were very specific to music and poetry and dance. And
well, why do they have to be? Why do they have to be, though?
Right, so that's where we are.
Yeah. Couple thousand years later, you gotta stay and work.
I mean, a muse of music is like, do you know how many other gods there are of music? Do you know how hard it is to compete with other gods of music? I'm do this crafting thing now. I'm like, I watch How It's Made a lot.
I have an Etsy shop.
When we do get to the actual character creation, something I was going to mention is there could be radically different ways to build the character you described, where it's still identically the same character, but how they interact game-wise, I'm already racking my head of different ways to build these concepts.
When I was looking through the
concept
books,
is best, because then you pick what you like best of the rules.
So you made me think of this. In the books that you sent, the guide that you sent, I was like, well, is it wisdom or is it craft? Like it's a little bit of both.
I was all thinking for you, maybe even fate.
Interesting. I looked at that for like a hot second.
So what they're referencing, by the way, we'll put these up. I'll put these up real quick. It's jumping ahead a little bit, but that's okay. This is gonna be overwhelming. Please do not panic. These are all the different classes that exist in the game. They're called purviews. And what's going to be neat about when the character creation comes along, and when I play role-playing games, I love building characters. And so I built a system where I had a lot of fun making characters potentially for people to build. And so the way so we started with 5. I was like, we can do like 6 of these. Then I'm like, all right, that's number 20. Here we go. And so the way you build your character, it's actually a lot easier than it looks. All it is these are the purviews that gods have power over: bargaining, ice, industry, love. When you hear I am a god of blank, that's what these purviews are. And you get 3 points to build your character. And so all these have skills underneath them that give you powers, but the most basic is you can spend 3 points in one, or you can diversify. For example, Loki which Melinda plays in our weekly game. It's what an upcoming novel is going to be about that was read at World Science Fiction Con. Did I get that right?
Yes, I read it at Worldcon. Huge, very, very popular reaction. Everybody wants the book. I was like, I've only written 3 chapters. Wait, I'm working on it.
So Loki is Trickster 3, held onto all those trickster paths. Damien, which is Adam's character, is Darkness 3, no war anymore. However, Thor might be Warrior 1, Lightning 2. Lightning 2, right? So I have some warrior powers, I have some lightning powers. Batman, please don't play Batman. But if Batman was a being, please do not play Batman. Might be Darkness 1 because he causes fear, Wisdom 1 because he is the greatest detective who ever lived, and Warrior 1 similar as martial arts. He's doing his parts there. Maybe a god is not as strong in those powers. Usually when you go 1 point, the power in tier 1 powers are cheaper, so you might have more powers, versus tier 3 you have like you're very lean versus very wide. And the game is made in a way where you can even steal 1 power from a different purview. We'll get to that later, but I like to think about just the concept stores, and then we go into these purviews, and then we have a lot of fun looking at some of the powers there. We'll talk about these guys in a second, so don't worry too much about that. But that's what they're discussing is where would my guy fall? And it's really cool to have the same god imagined multiple ways, because you can make the same god and be like, and here he is in multiple forms, and maybe my Thor is different than your Thor. And one thing that's important is the gods today go by different names. So you might have Bacchus go by Benny Wonderful. He runs a bunch of nightclubs, but he doesn't go by Bacchus anymore because that'd be weird. So the way I like to put it is the god is a character from mythology, but the character is yours. Damien is Adam's character. Deimos is the god who was inspired by it, but Damien is its own path. So when we make our chaos god, the chaos god is going to be his own thing, even though he's based on an old god to get kind of the backstory there. He is your character, and that means you can do whatever with him that you want to say. You could even change a god's purviews dramatically. But that's my that's the spiel there. May, do you want to tell us about the loose console you had, if any?
Loose, I wouldn't call it loose.
Not even loose.
So so here's what's happening. And tell me to shut up because I love my genealogical history. So I'm going with Bast. So she has many aspects. So I'm gonna have her have a cat cafe that has like slow like jazz that's gonna be playing. And so she likes to do her winters in Zagazig, which is as close as you can get to Bubastis as you can. And her sister Sekhmet runs the place when she's not there. Yeah, I already figured this out like when we first talked about this.
Oh, okay. That's one way to do it too. Is just go. I am Bast, and I am doing the Bast thing.
I am that person. Tell me what it is, and I will figure it out in 2 days.
And you said Sekhmet also runs the place when you're not there.
It's her sister, yeah, because they were both the same thing at one point. Yep.
That's right, they were, because the whole drinking scenario that went real bad and real good for Rob at one time.
Yeah, because they were both lions, and then freaking Bast decided to be a nerd and turn into a cat head softie, and then Sekhmet got drunk, and that ended poorly for everybody.
Perfect.
Everybody.
Wow.
I love it. And Melinda, what have you been cooking up?
Well, I was thinking about playing the god of video games because I've been playing a lot of video games the past few nights. But Michael asked me to do an older, more ancient god, so I went with the Zoroastrian pantheon. And so I want to play Vayu, who has changed his name to Vernon Darvish, and he runs a Persian ice cream store. And
I love it.
Because there was a great one in Los Angeles, and we used to go and get Persian ice cream, rose, and it's amazing. Anyway, I digress. He was a god of the elements, wind and rain, and nature, I guess, in some ways. So I think he's going to have a lot of little purviews like lightning and snow and rain and fog, because I can see him using those abilities to help the fighters in our group, if we have any, which would be helpful.
No, that's absolutely perfect. And I'm not and when I say this system is versatile, we can build really. There is every purview in them has 20 no, less than that. I think like 15 different powers, and there's a lot of powers in this book. You can build a lot of stuff. We built Melinda a Jedi, and it worked. She played the god of like the cinema, and it was a Jedi Knight. We're like, how do we build a lightsaber? And it's me and Adam on the phone being like, yo, I think we can do this. We found out a way to build a lightsaber.
We should just show that character sheet when we get right before we do the rules portion, because I have it right here where for when Melinda played in the game, she wanted to play a Jedi. And I'm like, how would I build a Jedi with this system? So I made 2 different versions, and then I told Mike to make one too, to see how close they were. Like, I have at least 2 of them right here, so I can show you 2 different ways to build the exact same character who can do all very similar things, but differently if you'd like to.
Perfect. And but right now I think it's good. Now we have 3 people. Oh, and Adam, who are you thinking about playing this time around?
I am going to be playing the angel Samael. He is, in the biblical terms, he is the serpent. I'm going with the Hebrew tradition, where he is an angel, a servant of God, he's heaven's bad guy. His job is to tempt mortals so they have free will. He's not evil. He wants them to have. I was like, was that me? No. Okay.
I thought it was my phone for a second.
I apologize. Pardon me.
Let's be honest. It could have been anyone's phone in this call.
It was perfectly timed, though.
Right? Sound effects board.
I'm going to mute, and I will be back in a moment.
Timing's quite poetic for that. But so, and I've already developed the character, and I also, if you want to use that as a demo mic, so people have a visual, feel free.
No, we're definitely going to do that. And when you say Samael, you're talking about like in the book of Job. You're talking about that guy who's like, oh, I'm going to tempt you, but he's not necessarily Satan. Like he's
also the
Satan.
serpent who tempted Eve at the Garden of Eden. But it's not for malicious intent. That's his job. Mortals have to be tempted so they can choose to be good or evil. And he will, in the modern world, he's sick to death of it. He hates his job, but he knows it's crucial. But it breaks his heart every single time someone chooses wrong. So he's a kind of a sad, stoic man in the modern day, where he works as a personal defense attorney, offering people Faustian deals to get out of trouble if they're willing to take it. But if they don't take the deal, he'll bless them and find a way to help them the right way. But if they take the easy way out, like, oh, you could get out of this and all you have to do is lie and blame the other person when you were really responsible. So that's going to be the character concept I'm rolling for. Imagine like the shady, slick lawyer who's secretly a good guy.
So yeah, so we have so that means we have 2 gods to figure out, because I think we have the Bass backstory, which is great. We have and so yeah, let's talk here. So we got chaos. Let's start there, and it's anybody can jump in about gods of chaos. Now you could play the modern. There is a non-zero chance you play like the god of drugs from the 80s who has come around, and like you were like that's when I was invented, man. Or you play like you can play much old. You can play. I mean, you could play chaos, like capital C from Greek mythology of I've been here, I put society in creation, then I just left and I started just doing stuff. And after so many years, I'm like, you're like, I was a roadie for a while. That's weird. I don't remember what life is. Or you play like an older god, maybe like a god of a trickster being who's been around from a different culture. And yeah, really, we can do a whole bunch. We can brainstorm here.
You could even play the god of ADHD Chaos Goblin, of like that modern concept of the person who thrives under pressure, but their life's a wreck when they're not under pressure.
And honestly, you get a lot of belief now among people pretending they have ADHD online, being like, I have ADHD. You're like, wow, that's belief in me, I guess, because that's faith. You do not have that. You're just trying to sound fun online.
But you know what? If your offerings are appropriate, I will grant you your wish.
Offerings of Adderall.
Dude, I will bring it up on screen every so often. I'll be like, I will just X out the appropriate stuff. I'll be like, may I offer? Yes.
What is it? I don't know, man. Could be anything.
It could be Adderall.
Doesn't
Could
matter.
also be a placebo. I'm just
kidding. They were all meth. What?
They were all, oh god.
Whoops. All math.
Whoopsie.
As somebody
Mathematically,
who
it's bound
is
to happen.
keen on off-label use, I approve of this.
Yeah, Dan, what do you think? Older god, newer god? What are we feeling here?
I was thinking like old god, like Loki, like but without being Loki. But I really love your idea of I really love the idea of Greek chaos, that he was there at the beginning, but then just pieced out and was like, all right, cool, I'm gonna go away for a while.
Something to consider about older gods is the relationships they've built. So if you want to play part of the Greek pantheon, you should have a relationship with most Pan-Hellenic gods.
Mm-hmm.
However, there is something to be said that, again, it's been thousands of years or eons, or for eternity in some people's cases. You've had time to get to know the other pantheons too.
Yeah.
But they're not family.
Well, one
So
of the
you have a
mechanics in
different
this
relationship with the Pan-Hellenic gods than you do with the Norse gods or the modern gods. So think when you think of it that way, that's probably the biggest difference between playing an old god and a new god. New gods, you're fresh off, and relatively the new kid on the block. Old gods, you've been around and you know everybody, and you probably have changed a lot.
And one of the mechanics in the game that is very fun. There's a narrative mechanic that I can call for any time. When I introduce an NPC, let's say it's one of your kids. So like the 3 kids of chaos in the actual myths are Gaia, Tartarus for some reason, and Cupid. Eros is his name. So it's like if you meet one of those people, it's like, oh, Chaos, tell us the last time you ran into this person. So you can kind of customize the story of how you know them on the fly. So if you meet like Coyote, the trickster guy, be like, yeah, you probably know them. What's the last thing you guys did together? And then we kind of just roll with that together, because games should be collaborative, not just top down, do what I say. But yeah, I love the idea of chaos. And that means you could have had so much stuff. You could have blacked out for entire centuries and been like, I was awake for eternity. I'm not sane.
Guys, so I discovered time travel accidentally, and I went forward. After the universe happened, I went forward and found cocaine, and then I went backward.
Full
And
Futurama.
it hadn't happened yet.
You went so far forward in time that time reset, and you went full circle.
And what's crazy is he hasn't left. He's just in Greece, walking around temples, being like, "I'm back in time." Oh no! There's been an earthquake.
What happened here? They've let the place go, sir. It's the year 2025.
I've done it again.
It's like there's a non-zero chance he's actually time traveling. There's a non-zero chance we give you the time purview. There's also a non-zero chance you're just crazy.
Yeah,
Time was actually
And
the
high.
purview I was going to suggest to you based on your description.
And high.
yeah. So if he is the god of if he is the OG god of chaos, and having him be slightly insane and experiencing things in a non-linear fashion seems really fun. Whether it's actually happening non-linearly
Or not.
it's immaterial, but just
The other purview that might work for you very good is dream, which is like the dreamlands and like being in a weird state of like awkward creations. Also, trickster. We're gonna go into that in a second, but like I love the idea of chaos. Such a like old guy running around with like memory lapse and acting like he's met people before. Maybe he has. Maybe he's just talking to you.
What does he go by now?
I have this name. I'm so proud of this name. It's so dumb. Lenny Stevens.
Oh, the old Greek
Why not?
Lenny Stevens.
From
Just
the
like,
family of Stevenses.
it's me, Lenny.
Oh,
Oh yeah, Lenny. Hey, what's going on, Lenny?
Oh God, it's this guy again. Is he?
Just
high
assumes
again?
also everyone knows him. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
back in the old days, everyone knows me. They're just pretending they don't. It's like, who is this guy?
he won't
Zeus,
leave.
it's me, Lenny. It's like,
Ooh.
who is Lenny?
Have we met before?
Oh, we will have in the past.
Everyone knows
Past.
Lenny. Everyone knows Lenny.
We will have in your future my past. It's so great.
I expect you buy a lot of ice cream at my store. when you're high.
Oh yeah.
Oh my
I'm
Totally. You're in there buying like, I'll take one of everything, man.
Can I try
Like
another?
Cubs.
Can I try this? Can I get another sample of this one? That's vanilla. Yeah. Can I get another sample of?
All right. There's
Oh
this
my!
amazing.
I had a friend that I knew that went into a Dunkin' Donuts while not in his right mind, and he stared at the thing being like, "How much is that donut?" They were like $1. He goes, "How much is that donut?" How much is
Oh my
that donut?
God.
This went on for 20 minutes. They didn't kick him out. No one knows why.
They were
Probably
bored.
doing that.
It is late night Dunkin' Donuts. They love us.
What flavor is that? Vanilla. What flavor is that? That's still the vanilla, bud.
I don't think he's like burnout. I think he's just nuts.
Yeah, no, I think
Yeah.
just honestly, you might have a
Little manic.
I usually don't allow this, but like you might actually have a case to know some of the mad Lovecraftian gods and like be on an okay footing with them. You're just like, no, I understand them. It's like no one else does, but maybe you do.
It's like he just wants a hug. He just wants a hug.
That's not just a hug.
All right, so I think chaos rules. Love it. Lenny is awesome, and all right, and Mab. So what? So yeah, let's think about this. So you're feeling like a. So we can do this one of two ways. We got to refine the concept, but you want to do your whole thing as making weird. You want to be a MacGyver, right? Making weird things and having stuff happen.
Or doing things that using things for in purposes they were never intended. For example, I go to the Home Depot store and they say, "What are you building?" And I go, "It's really hard to explain." And all of the pieces and parts, like the screws and the nuts and the bolts and the sonotube. Sonotube is for pouring concrete. Well, it's an amazing building material for crafting crazy little loop things and making a loom out of it. Or, so it's like things that finding purposes for things that it was not originally intended for.
Yep,
Or
love that.
another thing is like a lot of medications out there. They call it off-label use, which is where I got the idea. Someone was like, "Oh, that's an off-label use for that." And I was like, I love this concept, but it's like 100% prescribed for the off-label use.
So yeah, no, I mean, so I love it. I definitely think a crafter is your answer because the crafting purview does exactly what you are describing. Like they have a power that can turn one element into another. They have powers that say, obviously rock and rock make gun.
Crafting is
Obviously.
can do anything you need if you give me a couple minutes. Like
Exactly.
That's gonna be
Even
rules will
wisdom
work.
might even be a good thing there, like crafting
Yeah.
wisdom. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
so the question is old god or new god? Because like old crafting gods, Enkidu is an old is one of the old Epic of Gilgamesh characters who is like the crafter who built things out of creation. You could even be like a crafter in a weird sense. You could be like even Prometheus crafted people out of out of clay. We can do some weird esoteric fairies. I only think I'm fairy because I'm like mad, but my mind's on very much.
I get that.
Very,
I get that a lot.
They concepts too. To think of things non-linearly like that.
Yeah.
Also make
So
things
that's
that way.
why I was like, oh, it would have to be something. If it was an old god, it would have to be an old god that maybe not necessarily somebody who was the deity of building or creating or construction, but what made them the off-label use solution is they didn't originally start that, and they became something so far different.
What about Daedalus, father of Icarus, the one who was the crafter who made the labyrinth, the one who had the one who was the crafter who was like put inside the tower to be like, you know how the labyrinth works. You can never leave this tower. It's like that's not how you keep a secret, but okay, bud.
Right, he did make
or
another thought would be to play a god whose thing became obsolete and you found a way to keep it relevant again.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a little tough because they have to think about An obsolete thing that still exists in a different way?
Exactly. So here's kind of one other idea I had is this original deity didn't have a name.
Okay.
And in Japan, they have those little huts that they're always building for gods. Timu Titan. Oh my god, I love it. That's so accurate.
So all I'm saying is you were one of my kids. The Titan, like my grandkid, I don't know. There was like Kronos and Gaia, and then I don't know, Timu. So there you are.
I love the idea of you being an obsolete. I love the idea of an obsolete. I love. Oh my god. And then Gaia made her son, and then had a kid with her son. That's weird. I didn't understand that one.
I never understood that either. To be perfectly honest, God stuff is weird
about
stuff.
I wasn't there for most of it. It was weird.
It's all a blur.
Except the parts that aren't, which are rapid in creation, and I see vividly every hour of every day. Okay. Oh, you could even be. Oh, you could even be like Rumpelstiltskin, who like threaded the stuff and like found a way to survive after being like caught. Fairy tale also might be where we look like a fairy tale who's found a way to adapt.
Yeah. So tricky. Someone who didn't have a name before, and it just as it evolved, that this became more and more. But I mean, didn't they always have like please work, please work, please work?
Yeah, no, yeah.
Mab, you just said somebody who didn't have a name before, but they were all Odysseus. Nothing. What's your name? Nobody.
Nobody.
He was a really clever man who found his way out of really cool things.
Yeah.
In part of the mythology of this game.
I love it.
Off-market
a man
solution.
could be a god. There's enough belief in Odysseus that I absolutely.
I'm in. I just was watching some an Odysseus movie just the other day.
That is so cool. We got Odysseus as a crafting god of solutions. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And that's right. Odysseus, what is your name? Nobody. And then after the thing happened, it's like basically a god trying to find his place. And it's like eventually it's like, please work. Yeah, I can do that for you. Oh, good. It's like, this is my thing. This is what I do now. So you're probably well adjusted in the modern world then. You probably figured out like
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You probably actually have a phone. Because some gods don't. Some gods like, I don't know what this is and I don't like it.
Yeah, but it's not exactly. It's a flip phone that I've turned into a video phone.
Of course it is.
It has to be a Nokia though, because you know that thing can survive everything.
Oh hell yeah! But it's got a handset. It's got
every time you take an IT call, your first question is, did you turn it off and turn it back on again?
Yeah.
And they're like, no, I didn't. And then you're like, all right, wait. It worked. Yeah, that did it.
Did it.
That's something to think about. What do you do in the modern day? Do you go around to companies offering solutions? Or maybe you literally work IT support. Maybe that's literally
a consultant.
That's one concept. The other thing I was thinking is going around and participating in craft circles with little old ladies making granny squares covered in cats or cat sweaters. So I'm seeing the tie-in to my good
the cat sweater thing, there we go. There's a tie-in there because definitely the group is going to have a tie-in to make sure everyone knows each other coming into it. Doesn't it be like super good? All I ask about tie-ins is like one person knows at least one other person, and so it's like when the group comes together, it's a decent thing. The plot structure is going to be fairly obvious where the plot hook is. But yeah, I love the idea of going around. Also, those little old ladies are a belief system for you.
Oh my god!
The home run people come up over the years. The home run.
Other temples that I'm thinking about making are maker spaces.
Yes.
I am a fan of maker spaces.
That makes so much sense.
I do a live stream of the little old lady Loom. That's my name, Lum.
I love it. Little
Little old lady Loom. And I do a little crafting, a live stream to help get followers, worshipers. I'm actually very popular online. And I say, hi, this week we're going to talk about this thing I found. And I want to talk about how we can make this thing do this magical thing.
and because it's people are like, wow, that was really cool. I'm like, yeah, it's real magic. 'Cause I'm a god. That's great. Also, it goes into the fact that gods are like, Odysseus, weren't you a guy once? Yeah. I'm not. I was.
Does it matter?
It's like gender is a construct. Who cares?
Yeah.
Like,
Seriously.
Super is. Also, a god of changing things can change whatever the heck they want.
Yeah.
exactly.
This is an off-label solution.
Yeah. So yeah, I think we have the basic concepts there, and I think I can already see some connections. I definitely know the one connection we're going to not leave out, but only have vague next to is Adam Samael character. He's going to be more brought in as a character there, but people are going to know him kind of tangentially. So we have in this group a old Zoroastrian god, warrior hero who serves ice cream now. We have Bast, Lady of the Cats, one of the highest gods of Egypt, running a cat cafe, where Lady Loom shows up occasionally and runs her makerspaces, and Lenny's there sometimes.
You know why? I got it. He's the reason her sister's in AA.
That makes a lot of sense.
Just saying.
I wasn't there.
You know, there's a thing that they do with senior citizen communities where they have them come and hang out in cat cafes and just nap on the couches. And
that a real
the
thing?
cats sleep on them.
Yeah.
That's a real thing. Wow, that's actually
That's a
really
real
cool and therapeutic. That's actually works, I imagine, very well.
Yeah, they used to bring the cats there, but the place in my town, they bring like Mab said, they'll bring them in by like they'll shut the place down just for the senior citizens place, and they'll just let the cats just hang out on them.
So now, we usually got to start with attributes, but I think now that we going to purpose is actually the ideal spot, and then we go backwards into attributes. I think that actually might be our spot to do here. That wasn't the plan initially, but we're doing it live. So here we are. So the purviews. Now that we have this, these are concepts. Now, we can always change things as things go on. This game is not about, I'll close this for a second. This game is not about building an optimal build. I want to be very clear about that. This is a narrative-driven game. All the dice rolls, once again, are 2d6 add a number, and everything involves, when you fail a roll, it should still further the story. The reason why people invented the system, two very good people made the system. They might be watching at some point. It was about getting away from you did a roll, cool, you fail. Okay, that's neat. In fact, in this game, the GM never rolls a die. Parts of the reason is it's about the narrative system. Usually, you roll to defend yourself. The GM doesn't roll to hit you. If the GM wants to hit you, they might say a sniper hits you, and that is happening right now. Because GMs fudge dice all the time. Usually, if they're good GMs, in the player's favor to make good scenes happen. Part of this game is about let's not pretend that doesn't happen, and let's let the dice tell a story from a player standpoint, but it presents a narrative that you can play within. When you do anything, for example of succeeding and failing, succeed 10 plus. The Mjolnir is falling out of a thing, and you're in the back of Hades' hearse because he runs a funeral parlor, and you're in the stands. You reach out to go grab it. You succeeded? Cool. You grabbed it. Did you succeed with the complication? You grabbed it, but you're hanging out the window right now, and people are going to pull you back in the car. Did you fail? You'll get a choice. Do you miss it, and it hits the ground, or do you catch it, but you fall out of the car? So you can always advance the story. And that's a key thing here. Players are given some control over, here's the bad things that happen. Pick one. Honestly, I played this game many times. Players generally pick for what's cooler in the situation, as it should be. It's let's build a cool scene, because you're looking to break the game. I don't know. I think you can. I've tried. It's not easy to do, but it's about building a narrative system. And when you build your characters, really find what latches on with you. And we're going to talk about some weird, interesting builds that we've done, and as just as examples of what we can do, so then we can understand what all these purviews do. I'm not going to go through all of them, but when people say what kind of powers they want to have, I can go over them. But we have our Jedi. So we built a Jedi. And Adam, the purviews we chose that were...
I have the doc if you want it. I don't know if you can share it or not.
I don't know how to share a Google Doc on here.
Oh, or you can't like put it on the screen or anything like that?
Yes.
Like,
Only one at a time.
One at a time. Okay.
It's
Let's...
well, I could just describe
It's true.
it.
We do. We break games for fun.
Would you rather me just to describe it instead?
Yeah. So yeah, let's well, first of all, we went with a concept of what we wanted to do. So first of all, I know we knew we wanted to have, we're like, what makes a Jedi? We wanted to have a lightsaber. Hello, cats. You guys being okay? Okay.
There's a channel on YouTube. This guy, Tulok the Barbarian. He's awesome. He just makes D&D builds. And but one of the things I love what he does is he explains objectives that you have to meet to make the build work. So when I was building these Jedi characters, I started with, all right, I need to have a lightsaber. Somehow I need a cool magic sword. I need to have the Force. That can mean either like I trick people, or I can like light telekinesis. I need some kind, or like Force speed. And then I went, and then what other Star Warsy things could I fit in there at once? So like the first build I went with was let's see. I used Guide Tier 1, Magic Tier 1. No, I'm sorry. It was Guide Tier 2, Magic 1. Guide would be, think Hermes would be a guide. I would argue Gandalf would be a guide. Guides are the people who empower others usually. And they usually have a lot of support powers and team things. So like there's a guide power that lets you like mental link. You can communicate with each other psychically. I'm going, cool, that's a Jedi's comm link. Where he can speak to people like where he can't like out of the way. Guide also has a lot of travel powers where you can go places really fast or be. I'm like, cool, that's Force speed. And then Magic has all sorts of weird things that you like telekinesis or tricking people that are just outside the box. So by going a little here and a little there, I was able to hit basically every goal going for it. Well, the other build I went with was, what was the other one? I think it was Time 2.
It was Time and Warrior, yeah.
It was Time 2, Light 1. Light would be a lot of, like, again, think of most angels. Like, you can fly, you can heal people, you're empathetic, you know how they're feeling. While Time, I could use, like, I could slow down time, which would be the equivalent of backwards Force speed, or stop bullets midair, or blocking bullets with a lightsaber, that kind of stuff. So there's you might be able to, like I said, you could do a lot of similar things with different purviews, but radically differently at the same time.
And if you're a crazy person like me and Adam are, I have an excuse because I wrote it. Adam doesn't. And you've memorized powers in this book for some reason. There is a lot, and a lot of cool things to kind of play with. But yeah, we know most stuff here. So there's kind of a couple ways we can do this. We can either just go, wow, that's the concept I want, or you're going like, I want to do basically this and have my guy do this. And then and that's how we're going to figure out our purviews right now. And yeah. Hello, Em. All right, so I'm excited for let's talk about Bast. I think Bast is a solid start here.
Oh, my bad. Okay.
Yeah. So and we can all chime in to get in. About what we want to do here. So what are we feeling for Bast? Some of the figures that might not be obvious. Myth is like transforming into a thing. That's how you play like a dragon or like a centaur.
Mm-hmm. I was thinking love because she is the guardian of like home and health and mothers and fertility and stuff, which would make sense. And I know this is kind of a weird idea, I was thinking war because she is the guardian and protector of homes, and it
Mhm.
could be kind of like it's an aspect from her old days, and she's not
Cool.
exactly like, oh, let me stab everybody, but she still does protect kids, like foster kids and stuff like that from whatever's going on in the world.
The other one that might work very well for like protecting people who are there is actually justice. Justice
Oh,
is
that
supposed
would make
to be they
more
swear a
sense.
code of justice themselves, and it's kind of like you
Oh.
go, when my code is triggered, I become super good. Usually I have powers of like, oh, I know this, I am a law binder, I keep this, but same as like, oh, you broke my code of justice. Cool, I'm better than a warrior at fighting because I'm doing the thing that I do.
I dig it. I like
That's
that
an
better.
option. Also, nature to have like cat control is also a thing.
How many purviews can we pick?
So the way it works is you get 3 purview points. You can triple up in one, you can do 2-1, or you can do 1-1-1. And it depends on how. But so you tell me like I want to be able to do this. I can help you. Like you're like if you had to pick 2 things, you're like I want Bass to do this. What would it be?
Okay. So obviously, I kind of want definitely the protection aspect, because cat cafe, it's very soothing. It's a safe space, which is the thing. And then I don't know, like that's the only thing I kind of thought of. That's the one thing I haven't figured out. But I definitely want to like lean into the whole like hearth and home, type of thing. Plus, I really do like the justice idea that you brought out because I think the whole code does make sense.
Do you want to do like love? It has a lot. Love has really cool powers. Love can also be like, what's your desire? What do you want? Also, like making people fall in love, understanding things there. How much of a I want to make people fall in love with each other or like control that do you want to be, or do you want to kind of just be like I'm kind of passively in that, but I do other stuff more?
I think really passive. Like if it's kind of like, I don't know, like for instance, 2 early 20s kids or something like that, they're just like kikiing and hee-heeing and be like, oh my God, hey, here's the tea on the house. It's like, oh, tell me about yourselves. You look new. And then they start talking, dumb
Cool.
crap like that.
I think love is great. I think justice actually works fairly well. And nature would also be very interesting to have like the power to morph into a cat. The power to nature has like morph into cats, talk to animals, have purview over animals. You might be like a 1-1-1, and we can always adapt this later as like different stuff. I love the idea of justice has a power called defend the innocent, where you don't have to roll if there's a person who's innocent.
Oh, that makes sense.
You automatically succeed, but you take the damage for them, and you're like, all right, now. And then they have other powers. When they get hit, they go, I'm going to hurt you more than you just hurt me. So it's a statement of, I'm going to take that hit. You made a horrible mistake today. I'm going to murder you.
It's like it's really going to hurt.
That's awesome.
I like that a lot. I like that.
Very interesting. Bass, love, justice, nature, and we might even like if we look at the powers when you start looking at them, which you have. We sadly cannot show many of the powers. We're showing those on the Patreon and the people at the end of the stream, like the basic sheets and talking about the powers here. We can't show the full thing yet, sadly, but soon we will be able to. But if you look at the document I sent you, which has the purpose, and if you like Control F and look at love, and then look at things, you can start reading some of the powers while we kind of look into things and kind of identifying there.
To save you a little trouble, when you do control search it, type it. Don't look for love because there's 111 times it says the word love in the rule book.
Yes.
Instead, I'm going to tell you the name of a power, so you brings you right there.
Okay.
Type beauty in the eye for everyone, or is beauty in the eye? That is the very first power under love. I'll just save you the trouble.
Thank
when
you.
We have one thing we have for the game that's going to be coming out, since there's a lot of powers, one thing that's very fun for the Kickstarter, we're making an online character builder for it as a supplement, so you can just go online, click the purpose you want, and then drop down a menu, and it will build your character sheet for you.
Yes.
So that's a thing that we're adding on eventually. Right now, the book is 800 something pages. So hey, here we are.
800.
Look, the Virgo in me is literally taking notes. That's literally what I've been doing this whole time.
Me too.
I've just been like looking to the side, writing everything. So I have page 143. Got it.
Love it.
I do the same thing.
Let's talk about we got to talk about Lenny.
Yes. Oh my god.
Now, Lenny, we got options here. So some of the stuff that immediately jogs out to me. Fate is weird. I will tell you, Fate is the weirdest purge in this game. It's like you have fate points and you keep tempting fate to have stuff happen to you, and the more good that happens to you, the more bad that happens to you eventually too. That's fate.
Yeah. So a lot of the powers, you'll basically give Mike the ability to change the story in whatever way he wants, not your favor. So, but you can do the same thing. So every time you do it, though, you're giving him a weapon to use against you later. So it's a lot of fun, but it's very give and take.
Now
you'll pay for it in the long run.
Now, celebration, believe it or not, is music and alcohol as the purviews. Like, you have powers to make people drunk around you. You have powers to possess people who are under the influence and cause ruckus parties that happen around you.
Okay.
That's celebration, which would be wild for chaos. Trickster obviously is a very solid option. That's like stealing from people, being crafty, invisibility, making illusions. Wisdom is like knowing everything and having powers like give other people powers that they may have forgotten. There's a lot of options here.
Time lets you see things in the past, as like you can like a recording. Time lets you slow things down or speed things up. It really lets you mess with things, and I think that's where you're gonna have a lot more
fun. One thought I was having is like the concept of chaos surfing, of just basically his life is a mess, but then all of a sudden there's a crisis and he's very, very good. And that point, would time basically be not like being a speedster type thing, like Quicksilver in X-Men Days of Future Past, but more of like all of a sudden, like let's say we're in a fight, because he knows every possible move because he was chaos. It's just like, oh, I could just, if nothing else, avoid everything.
Time 1 has a power called precognitive dodge, where you roll it before the scene and you can just say, that didn't hit me. I knew it was coming. Like, as it says, this hits you, you go, no, didn't. Or to another person, you're like, hey, duck. And you say that after the dice have been rolled and the roll has been failed and the arrow's hitting them, you get hit and you're like, nah, never mind. Hey, I scream duck before it happens, and it ducks. Time has that power. Like, it just has that.
Nice.
Nice.
So that exists. I think we're definitely doing at least time 1. At least time.
Okay, so if I had like time and fate, those seem to go pretty well together.
Yeah, fate. So fate, you have fate points, and you had these fate points to spend, and that's like knowing prophecies and things like that. Time, you can still see into the past. Like, time, you have a power to like see into the past, but like what happened at this space exactly this time ago, and you like see into the past and see what happens. Fate is more like I am manipulating. I have lucky charms on me. I give you good luck. I give him bad luck. Weird things happen around me.
Mike, can you make a suggestion? Why don't we give an example of each tier of power? Like, we give an example of a tier 1 time power, a tier 2 time power, and then a tier 3. That way everyone understands the scaling difference, and you also understand what you lose if you decide to spread out. Because if you want to be time 3, you will have the most powerful time abilities. But if you spread out, you have more diversity at less power.
Let's do that, but let's pay some bills first. And we have first off, we had a raid come in. Jacques Z Whipper came in with 111 folks in here. There is a Whippy raid going on.
Hey.
So holy smoke. Welcome, Whippy raid.
Whippy.
So thank you all for being here. Really appreciate all of you viewers. We are doing session 0 for a brand new game, Mythos Modern Gods, created by that guy over on the right.
Hello, I am that guy over there.
Side of the screen, Mike OJ. And you can even go and help support the Kickstarter for this by going to storytellersforge.com.
And at the very bottom, there'll be a link to put in your email. We're going to be posting information there. So please do check it out. It'll be great to have you guys. And this is our building session. I'll let you continue.
All right. So we're gonna do all this. We're gonna read the ads, and then we're also gonna get into some traditional Nat 21 confessions. So stick around, people. I know it's gonna be wild. We're not even characters yet doing the confessions. It's weird. Maybe this will be the first time you actually hear the characters. But let's pay some bills. So, my friends, we are brought to you by Destination D&D, your interactive RPG in exotic locales. Paolo was just in England, where my accent sometimes comes from, at Muncaster Castle, which is right there on your screen. And for more information, you can go to destinationdnd.com or scan that handy dandy QR code on your screen. And if you're watching this on your phone, which I know 98% of you are on the toilet, that's okay. We all do it. We've all been there. Just take a quick screenshot and then click on it later. We're going to New Orleans this November, week culminating in a day at the Louisiana Renaissance Festival. So join us for that. It's going to be absolutely fantabulous. Also, consider supporting the show by joining our Patreon for even more fun. Patreon.com/nat21adventures. You become a Patreon saint. Our Patreon saints, our subscribers, receive extra bonus content and special discounts, monthly contests with great prizes, a monthly AMA live stream with one of our fantastic players, often led by Mab Just Mab, as seen on this show, behind-the-scenes videos, and more. The tiers start at just $5, and our Grand Saints get their own monthly game. Go over to patreon.com/nat21adventures. Run, don't walk. Walk, don't crawl. Crawl, don't jump. I don't know where I'm going. But also, we have a whole week of fantastic content. Everything from Modern Mondays with Lady Prudence, where Lady Prudence, Monday nights, will be playing fantastic music for you, all new modern songs, and
I know her.
some brand new ones, including one that might have been co-written today on Writing Sonnets with Shakespeare, joining your friendly neighborhood Shakespeare in the writer's room, 10 a.m. Tuesday mornings. All times, by the way, are Eastern. That is a collaborative writing project between you, the audience, and your friendly neighborhood Shakespeare. Wednesdays have Crafting with the Crew with Cubby and Sochi, a craft and show. That's 9:30 a.m. Pacific time, 12:30 Eastern time. And Wednesday nights have, most Wednesdays at least, Gothic Horror Gaming with the Gloom Master. Flash Phantasmagoria stories are Thursdays at, here we go. Nope, it didn't click. No, there it is. Flash Phantasmagoria stories with Handlers at 10 a.m. Thursday mornings. And we have rotating shows on Thursdays, such as Mab Labs, where let's make some stuff, or the World Spirit Terror with Madame Onsa on the last Thursday of the month, which I think would actually be this week then.
Yeah, that's this week.
Fantastic. And all sorts of fantastic shows, including Deciding Your Own Endangerment and more. So if Mythos takes off, we could be around for a very, very, very obnoxiously long time. So that will be great. But also today, this show is brought to you by you. It is tradition here for us to raise a glass on Nat 21 Adventures and say, huzzah. Here's my very empty whiskey glass.
I didn't know it was tradition, but I'm glad I'm prepared.
Yeah, you know what? Tradition. We're gods. There are always traditions. We make the traditions. So thank you all for joining us, for watching us. Hit that like and subscribe. If you're an Amazon Prime member, you actually get one free Twitch subscription each month. Consider using it with us. And make sure also to head over to the Discord. Go check that out. We're on Discord. Come join us after hours for fantastic discussions.
Yay!
Reverend Tommy just created the Modern Gods channel, and special shout out to Reverend Tommy, who is our super psycho fan, our moderator par excellence. He is often right here in the streams, along with Sir David Percival, Victorian London Fog, Nina. All of them are fantastic. Hail to our saints, hail to our mods, and thank you all so very much. And now I think it's time, before we get into the rest of the show for some episode 0 confessions. Dun dun dun.
Okay, so I've got this idea about this thing that I could do if I just take a nut and then if I maybe use something like this, and if I could just like spin it and then I can make a really cool I can make jewelry out of this, I think. This is just it's a little fun guy thing I think I've got going on. I really think that this will work. I think I have a lot to offer. I think I can really be very useful to whatever team and catastrophe and plot hooks that come up in the future because I can be very out of the box thinker.
Please don't tell the utility company, but I don't use electricity to keep my ice cream cold. I use my powers. In the wintertime, I don't sell a lot of ice cream, and I need to make a living. So I'm just using my abilities to keep it cold, and try to keep Lenny from coming in here all the time because he kind of drives off decent people that I want in my shop. So that's my confession.
Samael's confession is he doesn't just go to Scratch's casino for business purposes. He goes because he tells Scratch it's really just because he wants to convince him to come back, that he can turn away from his life of evil. He really has a problem with the slots. He keeps inventing reasons where he has to go there and try to talk to Scratch, and so he can take a break there. It's becoming an issue.
I'm so excited. My little cafe has expanded. I will be having this cute little 3-piece jazz band coming in. Oh, Freya, wait. That's my Maine Coon. You see who I named her after. But the only thing that sucks is that Sekhmet, I'm not going to call her by her name that she uses here. It's kind of silly. But I have to send her to the back because every time this Lenny guy shows up, she has a relapse.
Ooh.
I'm pretty sure that's why she's in AA as it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why. Freya!
All right. So I was just there. I have this fantastic group here. It's absolutely wonderful. And let me tell you about this fantastic guy that I met once upon a time. His name, what was his name? Okay. Would anybody like to start a business? I'm really looking business right now. Honestly, we could probably have something really great. Where's my hat? Where did I put my hat? Oh my God, where is it?
You also the god of pyramid schemes?
Look, that too is chaos.
Why not?
That too is chaos.
So
No.
that's fantastic. Adam also in his confession brought up a character that I want to kind of talk about how it brings up a neat concept of the world. There's a character named Mr. Scratch, Jeremiah Scratch. He is the Crossroads Devil. He's not the devil. He's not Lucifer. He's not Satan. The three of them don't like each other. He is the devil who built up a casino after fleeing hell, and he made a casino as a neutral ground for all gods to meet. So if you want to meet on neutral territory, you stay and people go to his casino to make deals with him and make sure no fighting occurs, kind of in that kind of like a neutral turf for all gods. I also love the idea that there's many businesses owned by Lenny that are all startups that never have been filed legally.
Listen, I'm getting around to it. It's gonna happen. I just have what my son-in-law, I think he's my son-in-law. Anyway, who's to say? He calls it executive dysfunction.
With the Lenny stories we've been hearing, I am going to recommend. I want to just tell you, time, I think for sure, there is a power in celebration, tier 2 celebration called euphoria, where you make people around you feel an emotion of your choice by giving them either by music playing or handing them a substance or doing something absurd with it.
Okay,
Weirdly enough, I feel celebration might actually be a purview for Lenny, at least tier 1.
Okay. So
why don't we go over an example of the different tiers, and then we can actually go over how to make the character, Mike.
That's very fair. That's
Just so we have a
Adam.
sense of
This is why we have you. Make sure it doesn't bramble.
the big bucks.
So an example of let's see, I'll close this for a second. So an example of a purview tier, just for ability wise, I'm going to use I use time as an example. So like tier 1 time, you might be able to hold out your hand, speed an object up by slowing down the local time field around it, or look back into the past to see certain things. Tier 2 time, you might be able to manipulate entire objects reversing their time. So if a building gets broken down, you can turn back the clock on it and make sure the building is reforging itself, or look into the future like Doctor Strange style to be like, what is the next outcome that I need to occur? What scenario do I need to occur? Tier 3 is going, I am stopping time around other people. I am going to mend people's wounds back to when they started. I'm going to have precognition that happens constantly and give people extra turns or take away turns from my enemies. Or I'm going to have actions occur and say they didn't have. The most powerful time powers is when an action occurs, you can spin a miracle, and a miracle is like you have 3 of them. These are like your big, I want something big to happen moments. All tier 3 purviews have one move that is fueled by a miracle, where you can say, that didn't happen, I want to go back in action. Massive ability.
So
all purviews are like that in some regard.
So the idea is that every power has 3 tiers. Tier 1 are the weakest. Tier 2, the next more and it's up a notch. Tier 3, there's only 2 in every header or every purview. 1 miracle power, 1 non. The miracle ones, this is your epic Super Saiyan moment. This is your I am the superstar. I want to do something awesome. But there's a resource to it, which Mike talked about, miracles. There are ways to get them back. You may start with some things like miracles can be spent other ways. We'll get to there later. But the important thing is that if you mix, so let's say you're time 1, celebration 2, you don't get any tier 3 powers. So there's something to think about a little bit as we start kind of moving around. Does that make sense, everybody?
And the way the building will work is you'll have 10 points to build your character, and a tier 1 move costs 1 point. A tier 2 move costs 2 points. A tier 3 move costs 3 points. Essentially, your purviews unlock your menu, and you buy your menu with your points. So if you have nature 1, justice 1, and then love 1, you can buy any tier 1 power from any of those three things. So you have your pick of the litter of what you want your guy to do.
And each one is 1 point.
1 point for tier 1 moves, 2 points for tier 2 moves, 3 points for tier 3 moves.
Okay.
So tier 3 is a massive investment because you've spent all of you only get 3 purviews, like total. You've spent all of them here, and then to get a single tier 3 power, that's another 3 points. So you're like, does that make sense?
For example, Justice 3 has a power called Be Not Afraid, where you angel it up and you like full-on transformation to your old form of Justice, like you're immune to a bunch of effects, and for that scene, this is like you're popping your big moment. Other powers might include you spend a miracle. This is a nationalism power because it's gods of nationalism, where as long as people believe in your cause, you become all of them. So it's a kind of the image of like
V for Vendetta, for example.
V for Vendetta, but also like the French Revolution. You see the woman who is the embodiment of the French Revolution walking with the people at the Bastille. She popped a miracle. She is all of them, and they are all her. So it kind of becomes like you control a hive mind of believers behind you.
So for you have 10 points.
Mhm.
You spend 1 point accessing each purview, and so that's 3 points.
So yeah, you have 3 purviews. You're going to get your 3 purviews right off the gate, and then you spend your 10 points to buy the powers those purviews give you. So it's 3 purviews. You're kind of locked into that, and then your points are what you're buying underneath that purview. So if you
Okay,
want
so you don't need to spend a point to access 3 purviews.
Nope. Right.
You
For
just
example,
get-
the power that we mentioned, the Justice power. Justice 1 has Protect the Innocent. I have Justice 1. Great. I have my 3 purviews picked out. I pick Justice 1, Defend the Innocent. I have that power. I have 9 points left.
And then if I say I've got Crafter, which is 1, and then Master Crafter, that's 2 more points. So it's a total of 3 points that I've spent.
Yep. The Power Crafter and Master. Yep. That would be exactly how that works. Yes. Yep.
Okay. So then that leaves me 7 points.
It's if you're especially going and crafting 3 or crafting 2 and having access to those. Yes, absolutely. Yes.
And if I got crafting 3 or whatever it was, then that'd be.
Then you would buy the highest one there is Legendary Craftsman. You spend a miracle to go. Legendary Craftsman is really the MacGyver power. I make this. How does that make sense? It doesn't. But I have it now.
It's
Right.
like what the person in chat said: if you take bubble gum and I think it was like a paper
Right.
clip, and you somehow make a rocket launcher out of it.
Right. So if
In other
I
words,
get
do
more
more
than 1 purview, and
You
I
mean-
buy, I can get 1, 2, 3 in one, and I could spend 1, 2, 3 in another or something. 1 and
So
2.
think of it like this. You have your class. So think of your purviews as your class. You're getting so think of these 2 point system as 2 different systems. One, I am picking 3 purviews. That's all we're focusing on right now. Is here's the 3 things I want. You might be Crafter 3. That means after you get your purviews, you can buy from Crafter 1, Crafter 2, or Crafter 3.
Okay.
You will have 10 points to spend. There's powers listed underneath each one, and that's when you're going to pick the actual things you can do from that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I've got it right then. I think.
All right. And so you're thinking Crafter 3? Is that the vibe, or is it?
No, I'm taking Crafter and Wisdom, and
Cool.
Crafter 1, 2.
Then Wisdom
and
1?
Wisdom 1, 2. So that's 3 and 3. So that's
So you would be Crafter 1. So you'd be Crafter 2, Wisdom 1. So yeah, that's 3 points. 3 points is your purviews, and then you'll be able to buy powers underneath those purviews. So, for example, let me show you a direct example.
I think
okay.
a visual might
See,
help,
that's what I was asking.
I'm a visual person.
Yep. So let me.
Yeah, I think
if I
that's
can
where
share.
we-
Let me share a screen.
Yeah.
Oh, here we
You
go.
want to use my character sheet or something too?
Yep, that's what I'm going to share. Boom. Got it. Perfect. Does it come up?
I know the system
I have to
intimately.
add it to
and I'm
the
also way too
thing,
visual
right?
for this.
Done.
Hey, there it is. It worked. Okay, so this is what a sheet would look like. So this is Samael's sheet. So you'll have the real name, the real name, Samael, and the comma would be whatever name. On some of the sheets, I put identity. Identity is what the god really is. Attributes, we're going to talk about those in a second. And then you'll look at the purviews. The purviews in this one are Tier 1 Cursing and Deal Making, Tier 1 Plague and Disease, and I believe you have also Tier 2, and then they're Tier 2 Cursing and Deal Making. So the 3 purviews he picked was Tier 1 Cursing and Deal Making, Tier 2 Cursing and Deal Making, and Tier 1 Poison, Plague, and Disease. So, for example, he also bought the Deal. He can make deals to do one of these abilities. He's also a supernatural lawyer. He can write perfect contracts and fully understand the outcome of any contract he wants. That cost a point because it was a Tier 1 power. He also has Hypnosis to hypnotize people. That costs 2 points. And the only reason he was able to buy that is he had Tier 2 Cursing and Deal Making. And this is how a sheet would generally look.
So if I had dropped my Plague and Disease 1, I could take Curses and Deal Making Tier 3, but I wanted this character to be able to explore the idea of poison more. In Hebrew, Samael means poison of God or venom of God.
The Venom of God, yeah.
So I was really leaning into that whole like villainous snake concept. Hence the little decorations for my own flavor and fun. Even the name Oleander is a poisonous plant, and Nahas is Hebrew for serpent. So the idea is even his modern name is kind of an Easter egg.
So yeah, that's all. And once you pick our purviews, it'll become very easy because then you'll see your menu of what skills you can buy, and then go, cool, this is now what I'm picking. So I think the vibe that you're going for is probably Crafter 2, Wisdom 1 makes a lot of sense. I think that's probably what we want to do for Odysseus.
Yeah.
Wisdom Tier 1 is just awesome. It complements so much.
I liked it. I liked it a lot.
If think Wisdom Tier 1 might be my favorite single tier in the entire
So,
book.
is it possible in the future to get Wisdom Tier 2?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay.
So you can level up purviews. It does. Well, you could in theory do 2/2. It costs 2 points to buy another purview of your 10. So if you wanted to build a character off 8 points, you could do 2/2 and then buy powers from there. Buying a purview costs 2 points.
Mike, I'm going to cut you off for a second. What Mike's referring to is after everything he's already said, you're going to get more points to flesh out your character.
As
We
you
haven't
level
got
up,
that
as
far
you level
yet.
up, you get more powers and things go on.
If
And
you know the rule book really well, you can kind of plan ahead. But for today, I think we're keeping on the simpler side.
Yep.
You start with 3 tiers of purviews. You can later on either increase your attributes, which is what powers your ability to do stuff. You could buy another purview, or you could buy more moves.
I love this guy. You are asking to level up during character creation.
Yes.
Before the game
I know.
started.
Okay, I just want to say, Reverend Tommy and Jacques the Whipper are notorious level up inquirers.
I understand the feeling. And there is a lot of powers in the game, and part of the thing is I got to play this game once, which I found very fun. I got to play it twice. Both the times were one was a mini session. One was Adam ran me a birthday session where I got to play the Archangel Ragael, the Angel of Justice, and I'm like,
not one session. That was a campaign.
It was a campaign, and I'm going through the sheets, going, Adam, I don't have enough points to do what I want. He's like, wasn't that the intention? I was like, oh yeah, that is the intention. I'm mad.
You're not an all-powerful god anymore. You had to give things up.
You're making your concessions, and part of that concession you're making informs your character. Like I used to be able to probably do, ideally, right? If we're talking like the old days, Thor was probably Warrior 3, Lightning 3, Craftsman 2. He was probably a character with so many points. You might have had gods be like, I have had my old days, I could do amazing things. Now I can't. And that is part of the hold. Yes, Dan, yes.
Bizarre, wild idea. Instead of leveling up, do you start powerful or can you start powerful in the game and level down as we go?
That's
Start the game in fast.
Potentially lose belief in you. You can't do some things and you just become more and more human.
That's possible. I don't have a rule for that yet, but that's interesting. I'm gonna write that one down.
Making gods human.
This might be the expanded version of a morality system.
Oh, there you go.
Or something.
No, there's a lot to say about like what you can do and be like, that is very interesting, because if you lose belief, ideally you're not going to be as strong. And the reason why level ups happen is for the story, but also because your god, as they're doing an adventure, is in theory tapping into that old belief structure. Like stuff's going to happen, and because you're doing that, kind of tapping into what made you a god before. But there are some gods in the universe who are very powerful. Like for example, the Hindu pantheon, Vishnu is very powerful today because he is still very much worshipped. When we get into that, we have a whole bunch of things. So that is a definite possibility. It could be very cool to play old antiquity, and then you start leveling down as the years go on. Like we are actually gods, and we're wrecking through god stuff. That could be very interesting.
Would it make sense to kind of go over the whole character itself, like attributes, things like that, or should we?
Yeah, probably.
Characters?
Probably. That makes a lot of sense. So this is here's our entire spiel here. So there are a couple attributes in this game. You're going to have 6 attributes on your sheet. They're going to be charm.
D&D.
Yep. Charm is how good you are at talking. The words next to them are what's called basic moves. Power of the Apocalypse, everything is a move, as in like making a move in like a set or making a move in a story. It's very much meant to invoke that kind of vibe. So if you're trying to lie to somebody, I might tell you to make a deceive move. Inspire is talking to a mortal and going, you got this, champ, and then giving him part of your divine power and talking to them to bring them back up to snuff. Might is your ability to fight. Battle is to fight other people. Defend is when someone's hitting you, defending yourself. Protect is someone else is getting hurt. I'm jumping away. All those moves are governed by might, but there are some powers in the game that change this. For example, tricksters have a power called sidestep, which Melinda very much likes when she plays Loki. It lets you defend with cunning instead of might. So you can build a character who is very cunning and still be good at dodging, but not necessarily good at hitting people.
Damien, for example, he has a penalty in charm. He's meant to be so not charismatic and just inept at talking to people. But I took a power that lets me use influence others with mystical because he's good at terrifying people. So I get to use my magic attribute to scare people instead of my charisma attribute, basically.
Cunning
so
is your
lot
ability.
of ways to you can find loopholes around the basic limitations. These are the generic ones.
Yeah, cunning is your ability to sneak, also tell someone's lying, or also act under pressure is, I'm driving a car while somebody is casting a lightning spell at me. Am I doing it well?
Concentration kind of mentality.
Knowledge is your ability to know things with lore, investigate a scene like Sherlock Holmes, and analyze an enemy and go, what is their weak point, and what do I know about them from history that I would get here? You analyze a Hydra, you will figure out, well, the head slicing thing. That's probably analyze. Mystical, every god has some magic in them. Making bottles appear or casting a basic spell. Everyone can kind of do this. Mystical is that divine aspect of you. You can use magic with it, which is cast magical abilities. You can empower mortals and make them stronger. And divine sense. Now, divine sense is your eyes will flash, and you will be able to tell if the person in front of you is a god or not. Now, here's the thing about divine sensing. If you flash your eyes, you're also revealing your nature. So it's, I'm revealing mine to figure out you. Whenever you use any powers, any purview powers, or use a mystical ability, all gods have one thing they cannot change. Their shadow behind them has not adapted over the years. It looks the same when they're not using powers. When a power happens, their shadow becomes exactly what they used to be. So if Coyote uses an ability, Coyote's shadow becomes the Coyote. And if you look at people's shadows in the game, you will see their shadows change when they start doing things. Some shadows change a lot. Some shadows don't change at all. Your shadow might be a big imposing thing and you're a small guy. Like I imagine Odysseus the shadow is a bow strung over the back, the massive sailor, and it's like
Big axe.
Right out of the Odyssey.
it's that little
Right.
that little old lady over there. Yeah. And then willpower is your ability to resist negative effects. Get back up as when you get knocked down. Are you dead? Power through. A siren is singing a song. Can you stop that as it's happening? Resist is, they've done a power to me. Do I stop that power happening to me? And your powers in your game will be fueled by it. All stats are going to be given at a range from -2 to +3. We're going to worry about those numbers in a second. +3 is the highest. All that number means is you add that number to your dice roll. Now, if you don't know, 2 6-sided dice is not an even bell curve. You're going to roll a 7 1/3 of the time. 37% of the time, you're going to roll a 7. Which means if you have +3 in a stat, odds are you're going to always succeed.
+3 means you're very likely to be very, very good at this. +2, you'll pass most of the time. Like, not like some safe roll, but you know, you're more like this. +1, it's still better than a 50-50, but not by much.
And when we say see the complications, sometimes it's when you roll lore. If I'm going to try to figure out the lore of an object, I go, who is that person? If you succeed, you get 3 questions about them. If you succeed with the complication, you get only 1 question about them. Or you can choose to get 3, but they start noticing that you're really looking at them. And they identify that you are really thinking about them right now. But you'll have always a choice. If you bring us that to negatives, you can add points to other things. But yeah, that is attributes in a nutshell.
And Mike, do you want to go back to the purviews real quick?
Sure.
So when we showed this, we have all the attributes up top. I literally slapped this together like right before session today to give you guys a visual.
It's great, actually. I love it.
It will get there. We'll do
My
a
publisher
real
says
article
thank you, Adam.
later. But the idea is to give you an idea of which powers use which attributes. Bargaining is going to be mostly using charm or cunning. Celebration, same thing. So that you can also, as you're thinking about, like, if you, I definitely want to take celebration, but I'm not sure what else I want to take. This can kind of help you know what your attributes will be useful for, which are the purviews to look at.
And it's also totally fine to have purviews that don't match attributes and be like, I'm just doing my thing. I'm picking the powers I want and building for that. Totally fine too.
Just understand you'll be a little less consistent with it.
I would have thought that crafting took cunning instead of might or magic.
The might powers in crafting are like, you don't have to take them. For example, the might powers are like you slam your hand down and a big wall appears in front of you.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Like Hephaestus in the volcano. Like
but you can also build a crafting god with no might. The powers that are might based are very obviously might based powers. Super obvious. It's has some and when you look at the powers you'll see there. So I think we have Mab being craft 2 wisdom 1. Was that the general thing?
Yeah.
Cool.
Rev Tommy, you're right. When I first one of the kids, when I ran a game, I literally used Avatar as an example of explaining the rules. And yes, crafting was earthbending.
Yeah.
Like except it also get metal bending in there for free, because why not?
Yeah.
I literally ran them Yu Yu Hakusho, the anime. Like they just got to play that as a game, as a campaign where they were the players.
That's
it fit perfectly. Like for the rules.
And you know what? There's nothing stopping you from being a cunning character and having purviews that don't necessarily match that, because cunning is always used by itself. Act under pressure is a wild move. It's very, very good. Like, as in the base thing of, like, I do the thing. You can absolutely be cunning.
I mean, for the off-label use, that's 100% cunning.
Mm-hmm.
That's a creative solution to problems.
Perfect. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I agree completely, and we can definitely make. And when we look at the powers we're going to be getting, we can definitely build the character you want. I'm confident.
Oh yeah.
And can you also send this slide deck out to us?
Yeah.
So
it's a good one.
Yeah, that would be would have been a smart thing to do earlier. Yeah, that would have been useful. You know what? Why? That sounds like a smart idea. I'm gonna do that right now.
I've been thinking about doing something like this for a while, and it was only today that it occurred to me I could just make it.
I put it in the studio chat.
Thank you.
Right. So yeah, Dan, what are we thinking? What are we thinking for purviews? Or still up in the air?
I'm still up in the air, but I like having cunning for what'd you just say? Like it's all hit the fan. It's just like, oh, that falls into the chaos surfing idea for me of like, oh, I know exactly what to do when the chips are down. It's just like,
you know what might work is the guide one. Guide is like messenger gods who like send messages to people. They are a cunning based thing about talking to people in their mind reading people, going through life kind of like that. And they're very cutting based. Like they have a power, and if you do tier 2 guide, this might not be what you're going for. They have power to open up doors and appear through any other door they want in the world. So this door isn't here. I want to be in China. Boom.
Okay.
That's what time is more of a like, you definitely do the whole stuff's hit the fan. Let's go with like other attributes too. So for example, if you want to be like, stuff's hit the fan, I'm using time to slow things down. You can do that in a creative way. This is a narrative game, so you can be like, oh, I'm going to do it by slowing that guy down. That's using my power, not just using the act under pressure move. So you have options there.
Could it actually only affect... So could like for like time slowing down, would it be able to only affect me? Like no one else notices things, but I now have for me all the time in the world.
Oh yeah. So giving yourself extra moves, like, hey, I'm doing more stuff and having actions. There's a power in tier 2 time called premonitions, where during the scene you can ask certain things that will happen, like, hey, what will happen if I do this? Or I'm going to slow down time around me so I get this done immediately. That's tier 3 time gets you. Chronomaster is giving people additional actions. Time God's Masters, you can make it so you spend a miracle, freeze this is the tier 3 time. Tier 3 is you freeze everything around you, and then you choose 3 things that happen. It's your big, here we go move, and it's time 3. I'm doing this now.
That's going full Quicksilver.
But it is you basically become, time slows down around you, and you start like walking through time, going, changing little things. And that's
I
time.
feel like he would totally do that.
I agree.
But not in a battle situation. Like, he's doing it like, oh, crap. I gotta pick up my sister-in-law from the airport in 20 minutes, and it's 3 hours away. Okay. It's like I will use it on mundane, stupid shit.
There is a tier. I'm going to say, so one of the powers in this game is called Stolen Skill, which lets you take a power from any other purview you want. I know there's a fate power called Fate Take the Wheel, where you go, Fate, where do I need to be right now? And I want to be there instantly. And you decide, depending on how you roll, how bad it is when you get there.
Fate Take the Wheel. I love that.
There's a fate power. If you go, like, for example, Fate 3. So if you want to do a fate thing, fate is like, Fate 1 has powers. You go, roll this. Mike, what happens? The outcome is a partial success. I'm letting fate do whatever. Or I want to be here. Boom. I'm fating. I'm appearing there. Fate can also be, here's a charm, or I'm going to cause good luck here, bad luck over here. The fate miracle power is called Schrodinger's luck, where as long as something is not confirmed to be true, you can make it true. As in, that person's dead. We didn't check their pulse. They're alive. Or
birthday game that I ran for Mike, that campaign. Session 0. A player used that power and changed the entire plot.
There you go.
Because
there was an explosion.
An assassination.
It was in the explosion. He's like, he lived. I didn't see his body.
Yep. Like, they couldn't prove he was dead, so he must not be. I'm like, okay, fair enough.
Oh, thank you. I'm very glad you want to play this game. We will be releasing things more, and it's a slow trickle, but the game's done before we put it on Kickstarter, which is fun. But Fate might also be the answer, because Fate 3 just means weird stuff just starts happening around you.
Cool.
A good way of looking at the two of them, comparing them, how they interact with the game. Time is better if you want to be like, I know, Mab, I'm going to do this thing so you can go over here really fast. And then May, you can go over here and do this. Or you could go, I'm going to rewind time so this apple is fresh because I'm hungry again. While Fate is more of just things kind of fall into place. And or it's a little more random and more like
chaotic. To be dare say, very chaotic.
You know, and it's like sometimes a purview is also the absence of a thing. Mm-hmm. So for ADHD, the absence of fate and predetermination and order would be the chaos.
Yeah.
We could even take a tier 1 power in time to get you like the aging the apple back, or like reading things that happen as they occur. We can definitely get you those powers. But fate might be the answer.
So fate as a main purview. Okay.
Fate's other tier 3 move, because there's 2 tier 3 moves. Fate's other tier 3 move is you go, doesn't cost a miracle, but you go, in this next scene, this will happen. That is set in fate. You go, that guy's going to get stabbed. It will happen. Unclear how it's going to happen, but you make a declaration on the next scene. You go, that guy's not getting out of this room. Okay, he's not getting out of the room. Now, weird stuff can happen from there, but it's kind of like the prophecy, like that thing always has to occur. How it occurs, who knows? But
don't forget, too, that this is a role-playing game, just like D&D or anything else like that. So, for example, if you wanted to, let's say you wanted to pick, you want to pick fate, but you don't want to ever be in control, you can just role play it that way, or talk to the GM to reflavor it. Like, I once used the system to run a post-apocalyptic superpower games for the kids, and I had a kid who was tier 3 fire, but it was all technology-based. Like, she had flamethrowers and grenades, but she didn't have powers. I just used those powers and reskinned them to be what she was looking for. So if you have ideas of, I really like this mechanically, if you talk to your competent GM, there's probably a way to make it work.
Like, for example, I don't know if you've ever seen Twin Peaks. Twin Peaks is one of my absolute favorite shows. There's a scene where he's throwing rocks at a bottle and saying people's suspects' names, and one of them hits the bottle. He's like, oh, we got to write that guy's name down. There was a scenario where we had a fake god in the party, and this is during Adam's game, and we need to find out where to go next. And so I put a world map up, and I was like, hey, he was playing Lou as a leprechaun king. And I put a blindfold over him and I handed him a dart and I was like, throw the dart in that direction, please. And I hit a plot and we're like, we're going there. I think we need to go to that spot.
It's like they knew. I don't understand it.
Dumb question, but maybe not. Can Divine Doorway, so the basically opening the doorway to anywhere, I'm like, I want to go to Chuck E. Cheese right now. I don't know about you guys. I just leave and I go to Chuck E. Cheese. Can that be combined? Like just in a, because I'm thinking so many of this guy's powers are just, again, because chaos used kind of asininely until they're not. And then it's like, oh, it's chaos time. And it's like, everything's happening. And so it's just like, it's like as like things in the world get worse, it's like I get more focused, but then things are good for a while. So it's like, oh yeah, cool. I'm just gonna go over here. Can I use like Divine Doorway to also like I want to go back in time, but literally just in a very dumb way, like, oh, I want to go see that movie again. Just turn it on. No, I want to go back and see that movie again. And so I walk through the doorway, but back in time like 3 hours ago, so I can go to the movie theater again.
You know what? I will give you. So there's a thing you can always give in this game called a custom move, where a GM is allowed to make a custom move for people, and especially if the GMs understand the game.
Me too.
I think I understand this game. I will happily give you a move that is you can use the go back in time power for nothing but asinine stuff. That is totally fine.
I want to see what he said.
I have a custom move.
What we'll do is we'll give you the power. We can just give you the power to look back in time, but make it as you physically traveling back in time to do a thing. But absolutely, we can do that. The power, Fate, Time One has a power where you can literally look back in time and just see scenes around you and go, that's what happened. It's not you physically traveling back in time, you're looking back in time, but you can play it however you want. So yeah, we can do that. We can make that as your stolen skills in time. Yeah, not a problem.
All right. That'll be fantastic. So it's like, yeah, because when you said, oh, I want to make this apple fresh again because I'm hungry again, it's just like, no, I want to do it for even dumber reasons than that. It's like, oh, I need to go see Lord of the Rings again. Oh, are you going to put it on? No, I'm going to go see Lord of the Rings. It's like, but
yeah, I know what, honestly,
turn the DVD. No, I know. I'm going to go see it.
I also like that as we'll make it your stolen skill and combine it with like fate, because I love the idea of you being a fate god. I think it really fits like the chaos aspect of what you're trying to go for. Is like just fate putting you in weird situations. You don't affect anything. You're just like, oh yeah, I'm doing this. It's like, can you do that for actual good reason? You're like, no.
Maybe. I don't know.
No.
Yeah.
So I'm going to attach the idea.
Just you
It's
open
like,
the door. It's just like, oh, he's gone. You just come back to the door. It's like, yeah, it didn't work. All right, cool. Go somewhere else.
Huh. Hitler's here. No, he's gone.
Time to fix that problem real quick.
Oh, I totally did that, and we can even do Fate 2 Time 1 if we want to do that. You have options.
Fate 2 Time 1. I love that. Oh, that sounds. Oh, I love that. Yes.
Yeah, I think Fate 2 Time 1 is our winner here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So where would I write that in?
So yeah, on the thing, just put down you have your 3 boxes. They're gonna say purview. Then just have I'll put the template so everyone can see. It's the template we can show. Template. So on the template here, which I need to actually share screen, and should be up perfect. So on our template here, which is lagging, perfect. So you have your purviews here. So you would go Fate 1.
Oh,
Fate
okay.
2 Time 1.
Cool. All right.
And then where it says name, you would write the name of what the ability or power is. In the move, you would write the description.
Yep,
Okay.
and we will, and the easiest way to do it is once you fill it in, I'll make it look pretty as the week comes. Name would be your character's name, what they go by today. So Lenny would be here. Identity is who they actually are, Chaos. Description if you want to add it. Everyone starts with 10 health and 3 miracles. And then we have actually now the time to talk about looking at moves and looking at stuff you want to do. Now, if you look at this, oh, and sorry, Melinda. Melinda, hi. So we have our god who's a hero, right? That's his vibe. You're doing light. What were your things you were planning on?
No, it was more weather powers like lightning, fog, rain. You know, the wind is the primary power that Bayou had. So
Great. Yeah. So we're gonna do what? Lightning and storms 3. Is that the?
yeah, I think lightning.
And we're doing tier 3 in that, or are we?
Tier 2, because I like to not have all my eggs in one basket.
Sure. So what else do you want to be able to do? So you want to definitely be able to make lightning occur.
Does water allow me to heavy rainstorms, freezing rain, snow, that kind of stuff? Or
It does at higher levels. At 2, so all the weather purviews, you control that weather at tier 2. So like ice is like you can call them like local things to happen. Ice also has a power called Whisper on the Winds, where you can ask like snow creatures like the wind itself to carry messages for you. You could go messenger and have things happen around you. Lightning 3's big purview move is I called on a storm, and you can say whatever the storm is. That's Lightning's tier 3 move.
That
is
weird.
it doesn't have to just be lightning. I can just call down a big storm if I have.
The way the move works, and this is one of the coolest moves in the game, in my opinion. The move works as you call down the storm. You roll the dice. It will always succeed the way you want it to. How quickly does the agency figure out that you just called the divine storm?
Right.
Is what your role is. And they will show up. It's like, yeah, they're like, no, that's a storm god casting the miracle move. We're going there.
Yeah. Well, I think I'm a storm god, but I'm sort of, keeping a low profile with my little ice cream store. So
no, that makes sense. So definitely so what was the original guy like? You said he was like a vanquisher of evil, right? Or his powers were to banish evil. I mean, in some ways he and Samael might kind of be buddies, because his whole thing is removing evil spirits, evil people, Reluctant, but oh yeah, and that's very interesting that Samael does evil for a good cause. And yeah, I definitely think you guys should know each other then. 100% you should.
Yeah, I think we would know each other. So
let's see.
You might even disapprove of me because I inadvertently spread evil. You might even disapprove of me because I would inadvertently be spreading it. Because the whole point is I'm offering mortals a chance to do the wrong thing.
Right. And I'm trying to say, don't do that.
Yeah. So you
I don't know. Maybe you guys could be working together.
There you go.
That is
teamwork.
Yeah, look at
I think I might be more in line with May because protector, and I'm a protector. So
Oh, cafe ice cream parlor.
Besties. Yes, food truck, but ice cream.
So your whole thing is you want to do weather. Like so I think the obvious answer is either ice or water. Water has a lot of like legitimate just actual water powers. Like you have powers like cause ice water spurts to come up out of the ground and shoot at people. You have powers to like talk to the sea creatures. You get your Aquaman. You got Aquaman powers.
Yeah, no, I think I want more the wind powers, wind and clouds and that kind of stuff.
Well, lightning covers all that. Lightning and storm covers.
I'll do lightning 2 and maybe justice 1.
2 justice gods, never a bad thing to have.
Maybe light 1.
Light one could be interesting.
It does kind of fit the paladin anti-bad guy vibes. That's where a lot of the more cliche good guy powers are in.
Yeah, I mean,
You could also do ice and make ice your other thing and be like the ice powers are more or less controlling crystals. You can never be made afraid of anything. You can use magic to cause ice to like form things that listen to you. You also have options to let's see, tier 1 ice. You can like Frozone. You can like run the thing below you. That's probably not you. That's literally a power. I was told to change it. It was called "Where is my ice suit?" initially with an exclamation point and a question mark, and I was told to change it. That was the initial name of that
Aw.
power.
Super suit.
ice
Where
armor.
is my
Yes.
super suit? Yeah.
Melinda,
Why do you want to know?
I need it.
do you see your character as powerful, like physically impressive or imposing?
Not anymore.
Okay.
You know, he had
If
been.
you did, I would suggest maybe you go a little bit of myth just to make yourself really cool and powerful, but not anymore.
Not anymore. Yeah. I mean, I ran the Persian Empire, Zoroastrianism, you know, kind of fading and hopefully becoming less militant, you know. So that was our. I'm more of a peacenik, I think. At this.
I actually think guide might be your option. The messenger powers, mental link, having going somewhere quickly getting a message to somebody who needs to hear it. That's powers there. It also might just be you
Messenger
go tier
might
3
be
lightning and
fine.
go. I can still call that a divine storm if I want to.
If I want to, yeah. I mean, I want that, you know, ability if push comes to shove, then bring.
Well, then I
down.
think the answer is lightning 3, and you take Wrath of the Gods, and you're like, all right, time to call down the Death Storm.
Haven't done this in a
Like,
while.
you know what? It's like you push me too far. Everybody gets just burnt to a crisp.
Everyone's got to die.
Everybody's gotta
That guy's
die.
dying. Everyone's dying.
Bad people. Okay, I'll do that. So lightning.
Lightning and
cool.
storms 3.
Okay.
But like lightning and storm 2, you can like run down and shoot the wind out from you and knock people over. Like you have like that kind of stuff.
That's what I want. I want
Yep.
to be a weather god. So okay.
Well, you
Lightning
definitely
is
want the
clever.
power under. You definitely want the power under lightning and storms called Weather God, where you can just control the weather.
Okay, so I have my purview is lightning 3.
Yep, lightning 3 per. So now we have the part where we can talk about individual cool moves within the thing. All you guys. Oh, and Adam, tell us about what. Let's go over actually your build here, and let's tell us what
Sure.
you built. So
Yeah,
I'll
by all
pull it up
means.
on screen while we can
Yeah.
talk about it. But yeah, I think just going over here's this move, here's what it does, and we can showcase some of the actual moves here. This is actually the first look we're showing at an actual moves from the book, so this is very exciting for me.
Phoenix Dad, you're right. Mike, we changed it used to be called Messenger. We changed it to Guide because we thought it was a little misleading. Because where messengers are some of the gods in it, and then Reverend Thomas, you're also right. We forgot to change it in alphabetical order. Because it
Yep.
used to be an M.
That is why that happened. And it was Adam's animated commentary was like, what messenger gods are there? I'm like, Hermes. He goes, what other messenger gods are there? And I went, Gabriel. And he went, name another one. And I went, I understand your point. So here is Samael.
So I'll start with attributes. So he's 3 in charm. He's extremely good at talking to people, manipulating people, convincing them to trust him, that sort of thing. Cunning too. He's pretty conniving. He's a lawyer. Mike, 0. He does not go to the gym. Knowledge 2. Again, smart guy. He knows a lot of stuff. Willpower 1. He struggles with temptation himself. He spends all day offering it to people. And then that's starting to get to him. Mystical, -1. I gave myself a penalty here. I decided I really didn't want him. He's all about other people's fates and choices. He's not very good at manipulating them himself. And I represented that with he's terrible at things like magic and knowledge of magic itself.
Now, he'll have the specialized action here. Every person will take a specialized action. We're going to ignore it for right now. We're going to do that at the very end. There's also flaws you can take. There are a couple flaws you can take. The main ones, there's 3 major types of flaws you can take. One is a weakness. A weakness is I am a fae and I am weak to cold iron. You pick a thing that hurts you. Please make it an actual detriment for the campaign. Be like, I am weak to pencil lead on the 3rd Wednesday of the 4th year of the month if it's raining outside. It's like, okay, sure you are.
It's like Loki's, Melinda, for you, it was poison, right?
It was poison.
'Cause he was tortured with it for so many years.
Yeah.
Damien, I took pure joy and happiness. It disgusts him.
So yeah, so you can pick a thing that makes you go, and when you're around the thing, you start suffering negatives. This other type of thing you take is a compulsion. You have to do a thing, or you cannot do a thing. For example, a fae might take a compulsion says, "I will never tell a direct lie. I'm physically incapable of lying." You also might have a compulsion that I will always take an action. I imagine Lenny's going to have a compulsion to do something in certain situations.
I'm going to touch it.
That
There's a thing. I'm going to grab it. I'm going to lick that doorknob.
Yep, there it is. You can even say compulsion, impulsivity. It's like, that's fine. You can get the point for it. If you take a flaw, you get an additional point to build your character. The big thing is you can take a second stolen skill. And for stolen skills, we're going to talk about those. And I will recommend skills to you based upon what you ask for here, because there's a lot of skills and from you can take a perk from anywhere else. It's how you can diversify. The reason why we had a stolen skill is I wanted to make the Angel Azrael when I was building the game initially. And I was like, well, the Death Purview doesn't have angel wings. But the Light Purview had a power called On Angel's Wings, where you could grow angel wings and like teleport. And so it was stolen skill. Now I have angel wings. It's the one thing that goes, yeah, my guy does this, but he's known to transform into this. I'm taking the nature power that lets you transform into things because I want that thing. So it's a way to make your god more like they used to be by taking a tier 1 power from only one additional purview. But a weakness gives you a second stolen skill. So his weakness, yep.
Strange divinity, because he is a radically misunderstood character in mythology. In some faiths, he's Satan. In other faiths, he's a loyal servant of God. In other faiths, he's just a serpent. So I took the... So he doesn't actually have as much power as you would think he would have. And then for purviews, I took curses and deal making, tier 1 and 2. And then I wrote in like the first column says the name, the next column says what the move actually does. So for things like the deal, the very first power, it didn't write the details, but I can make a deal with a mortal. I could go, hey, you're going to do this in exchange for blah. And then in the column there, it lists things I can get out of it. Like what are the value, like what is the outcomes that could come out of this? While like Supernatural Lawyer, there's no rolling involved. Either. It just says I can write perfect contracts and I'm never going to be tricked by them. This Mr. Scratch can't go, hey, sign this waiver to come in and end up with like somehow owning my house.
And what's really cool about Supernatural Lawyers, you can say, I want to write a contract with a very, very, very specific loophole that's hard to deduce unless you understand how to read my divine legalese.
All right.
So instead of you write the contract, you go, I want the contract to be hard to read, but I want to say we can get out the deal if we do this.
I mean, I'm going to jump in a little bit here. I know I've been pretty quiet because I'm at a different time zone, and so I've been cooking and eating something. But the thing I love about this game is you're not trying to rules monger and make yourself the most powerful thing out there. I mean, Loki, who I play a lot, have played a lot, zero knowledge, zero might, tons of charm and cunning, not much else. And it's great because having those, not being just terrific at everything, makes it a lot more fun, because then you're interacting with people, finding the strongest person to hide behind because you don't have any might. It's just that's what makes this game so appealing, is that it really encourages role playing, and not just rolling dice and I hit the bad guy, and that's just what's been a delight for me as a player.
That's what's going to make this a great fit for our channel.
Seriously. But we do have to start wrapping things up because we are after 10 o'clock Eastern time now.
Perfect. So now that they've seen the system, what they're going to be doing over the course of time is they're going to be picking their powers, and we're going to be showing you their sheets that they decide on. They're going to be picking their attributes, which are going to be just those stats that we looked at. They're going to have 7 points to divvy out among those attributes: the charm, might, cunning, knowledge, mystical, and willpower. They're going to be looking through stuff over the week, and then we'll show you guys the completed products next week, and then we'll be getting our game started. So this is our eclectic group. We're going to be talking about more how they know each other. Started the session next week, and looking forward to a very fun mini campaign. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Woo!
Nice to meet everybody.
Yeah, this is a really solid system, and I'm loving the flexibility of being able to kind of start with a concept and then flesh it out, versus starting with a bunch of numbers and stats and then building the character around that. So this is definitely a good fit.
Well, with all of that, let's wrap things up for the night. Mab, would you like to start off?
Oh yes, I have decided that I'll be having a TikTok, a ticker talker channel where I would like to do demonstrations on how I make things from other things, like those little bread ties. I've decided to make an entire small architectural firm that is specializes in the whole Eastern European motif, but simply out of bread ties. And I can show you how to make that happen if you like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Tune in.
I genuinely wasn't thinking confessions. I was thinking more of like self-promotion.
That was the self-promotion.
That was self-promotion.
Making a new channel about making bread pies.
Now Mab gets one too.
Right now, and it is absolutely ties in with my character.
It really does.
Work on Mab's Mobile Mercantile, where I make things for sale. And right now, I am doing making prototypes for a new thing. You may know me from my Crankies, which are old-time storytelling boxes. So I have the Matchbox Cranky kits still available on my website, but now I'm making odd reliquaries, which are boxes that open up, and I was actually working on this before I even came onto this game. They're going to be little mini holy relic boxes where you have all these little trinkets that are tokens of little divine inspirations. And each one's going to be unique on my website. And I also have DecentisPatriotic.shop. Right now, I am doing a sale on the protest pack stickers. $3 gets you 10. Check it out.
And I have that. Do not comply in advance mug. It is fantastic.
Yes, it is a good. Sticker it to the man.art.
Lord, if you're gonna be at Dragon Con this weekend, I will be there running the Pinups by the Pool on Friday and the Glamour Geek review on Saturday. I'm also gonna be doing a really silly Twitch stream with my friends on the 16th of September at 7. We're gonna be doing a review on the movie Sinners. So I can actually break down a lot of the nuances that stands out in African American culture with some friends that are not POCs. And then if you go to CRF, Carolina Ren Fair, I'll be there all year. Well, 2 months. I'll be there both months.
and since Mab started us off on it, give us a confession as Rala. Excuse me.
Rala. Okay. Okay, so I have the band coming. I got these new kitties in. If you want to adopt, I'm totally going to have them up for adoption. They all need love, except for one. She's mine. And I think my main goal is to hang out with the ice cream person because they seem super legit. And maybe we can do like a pop-up of ice cream. Yes. That's what we're going to do. That's my idea. I was going to do all this except for Lenny. He's not involved.
Why does everybody always try to get rid of me? I don't understand. I listen, you know, I just got to go over here.
And look at doorknob.
I don't know what's happening. I'm just over here. I'm you know what I'm doing. You know, this is what I'm dealing with. Yeah. I completely understand what you're dealing with. I know this is what I'm saying, and no one wants me to go anywhere. But then everybody's like, "Oh, hey, can you let us in to that? To get us into Rollo's place?" And I was like, "Yeah, absolutely." And then I'll help them move a couch, and then I'll help them move a couch, and then I'll help them move a couch.
What?
Yeah.
She doesn't have that
Anyway,
written out.
That was
Anyway.
Dan. That was Dan's. What's Lenny's?
Anyway, you can all join me. Follow me on all of my socials, and Facebook, Instagram, all of the things at Linktree /Shakespeare.approves. Also, you just get to my regular website and all of that. Patreon.com/Shakespeare. Become a patron of the arts. Join me right here Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. for writing sonnets with Shakespeare. And the next 3 weekends after Labor Day at the Sparta, New Jersey Renaissance Fair. I look forward to seeing all of you there.
I will look forward to seeing you guys next week. And unless you end up with kids in Massachusetts who are seeking a counselor, I'll be excited for you supporting Modern Gods.
Give us a character confession.
So.
Character, say another confession. I haven't done anything yet. The game hasn't started. Okay.
This is your Survivor style direct to camera chat.
All right. Every single day, I go into work and I give people 2 choices. You can do the right thing or the wrong thing. They do the wrong thing, and it's somehow I'm the bad guy. Once in a while, I find someone who I already know is the bad guy, and I know full well that they're gonna tell me no, and I set them up where they can't fail just to try and trick them into doing the right thing. I know it's not going to get them into heaven, but it makes me feel better about it.
Aww.
I get in trouble a lot for it.
No.
You can't win in my job. I'm going to throw it out there.
No.
Some people get to be angels of justice and light. I got to be the angel of being a bad guy. Cool.
Aww.
Cool,
Um, okay, I'm all over social media. There aren't a lot of snodgrasses in the wild, so I'm not hard to find. In addition to writing for television and movies, I also write books. So they're available through all of your favorite places. And I would appreciate somebody taking a look at them and hopefully buying some. And now my confession. I hope it doesn't bring too much attention, but I'm going to take ice cream to the people protesting ICE.
I love it. No, I love that.
Yeah,
I love that.
and I'm going to
projectiles.
take ice cream, well, to anybody who's protesting, because we need justice and for good people to be rewarded for doing the right thing.
Oh, I
You're
just
playing a paladin again.
We can be paladins together.
We will.
Happening.
Great slogan too. Ice for ice.
I'm
Give it to
I'm
people.
here for that.
So
Same.
my name is Michael OJ. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok as Michael OJ Magician. I started TikTok literally 2 weeks ago after a video accidentally blew up over the weeks, so that was a wild experience.
Nice.
If you're going to be at PAX Unplugged, I will be doing hopefully be doing magic there. We haven't decided if we're actually coming out, but hopefully I will be doing anime focused and gaming focused magic tricks at the con. You can find me around any kind of magic show you guys want. So I want to say thank you guys for watching our character creation process. Thank you for being a part of the first step of Mythos, the first time we've streamed the game and for a public audience. So this is a fantastic experience. Happy to have these guys with us as we start the adventure next week. And yeah, please find me on those platforms, and they're probably over there. And if you were interested in the game at all, storytellersforge.com at the very bottom. There's going to be an email place to put in. Write your email in there. We'll keep you updated about updates for Mythos coming up. And just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart, guys.
Thank you guys for having us.
Thank
It's
you
always a
so
pleasure
much
to be here.
for letting us come and hang out and
Thanks.
play. Yeah.
I'm
Mike,
looking forward to it.
yeah, Mike,
Same.
I've got to know you over the years as a festival performer up here in the Northeast with me, and it's I'm really excited to get to meet you in this different capacity. So it's gonna be.
I know it's weird, right? Because normally we're performing, and this is our gaming side. It's great.
I know it's fun. Well, even though we don't have them to hold up tonight, friends, this is Nat 21 Adventures. Remember, when a natural 20 just won't do, you need a natural 21 or a couple of D6s, because that's what we'll
I know, right?
Natural
Well,
12.
I guess
Roll
we'll
a
make it if
D.
you roll a 2 and a 1, something will happen.
There
we'll
we
make
go.
that- There it is. There it is.
There we
It's
have it.
landing.
Good night,
Roll
everyone. Thanks so
D6.
very much. Here's the credits.
Night.